Joining me as always is Beth Domon, Jansen Lashley Haynes, and Brother Dan. We are 4 of the Tavern Talk crew, and we have a very special show today. We are going to be talking about episode 2 of seasons 2, Amazon's Wheel of Time adaptation. And we are blessed and lucky to have both Beth and Jansen with us. Jansen is a Hollywood actor, and he brings a unique perspective. Everyone, thank you for joining us, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe and all that jive.
Do you guys think that we're late to the game here? No, we were respectfully keeping our distance until we can unleash the beast that is Jansen. He is going to share all, now that the SAG after strike is not muzzling and harnessing his endeavors. So we're on episode 2 of season 2. It's called Strangers and Friends.
Yes.
Strangers and Friends.
Strangers
and so that's where we're at. I didn't mean to step on you, Rye. Yes.
No,
please.
it's all good. I was done with my intro. I teed it up and you hit it on the ballpark.
Let's do
as
it.
far as I'm concerned.
Matt Stagger is right. We do not like flash photography, but flashing is encouraging. And Noah Garden is wondering when we're flashing, so go ahead and put that in our Discord. And for us, just for us,
y'all so crazy. Y'all so crazy.
Slide them D's in my DMs.
I was just mentioning to Jansen before that on rewatch, this second episode was really charming to me. I liked it a lot. They went through the whole prologue. We had some cool battle scenes. It was a pretty badass episode, actually.
Yes, it was. It was pretty good. I liked it a lot.
So I guess let's go ahead and jump right into it then, Jay.
Actually, real quick before we go ahead, let's clarify: is this a full spoiler, or is this say spoilers through book 3 like last episode?
Well, I've been known to go on tangents, so
then let's go.
Warn you guys.
All right, full spoiler it is.
I may spoil it for you, so we need everyone to know that. Yes, this should be a full spoiler. I can't control myself sometimes.
Yeah,
all right.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Beth, I love your over here. I love your Christmas tree, little Charlie Brown Christmas tree in the background right there.
Actual outdoor decoration. It's a sleigh. My dog is laying in her bed in front of it, so it's a sleigh with 2 little Christmas trees in it. And I decided not to really do outdoor decorations this year. I put a wreath up on my front door and that's it. And I was like, I can't be bothered. So I'm using it as backdrop with some curtain lights, and it's very Christmassy back here. It's very holiday season.
Beth, you got to be careful. Those are the symptoms of being a daily streamer. You stop engaging in society. You stop caring about how you look, you dress.
Oh, Beth looks beautiful. What are you talking about?
Right.
Oh, I saw you going there, Ryan. I'm like, don't know.
I am going to tell your wife to punch you, or I'll ask your wife to punch you, and she probably will do it.
Oh yeah, no, she's impressionable.
She's impressionable.
You like people pleaser.
I'll let you guys have that conversation.
Okay.
But anyway, well, thank you for liking my background at least.
I like your background, your front ground, your in ground, your all ground.
Thanks, Jansen.
So, let's jump into it. We see Kyrian right off the bat.
Yes.
Rand's got a steady job. He's got a girlfriend. Rand is living a pretty good life here, man.
Very good life. He's
which is different than the books. In the books, he was camping out in the mountains. He was fighting his demons in his dreams. He was scared. Here he's established. He's got a hot, friend that he sleeps with. Lady.
Friend with benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He does. And I will start by saying that, the things that Rafe Judkins is doing are things that he needs to do when you have a show that you're trying to cram the years and years that we've spent learning and reading about Robert Jordan's world. And there's something that I was taught when I was in acting school, it was something that they always stressed. You got to keep driving the scene, driving the story. And this is something that they're doing to jump ahead and start and keep the story driven and keep, people's eyes on Rand and on all the new characters. And there's so many things that we could read about in the books and see this journey, but Rafe has to condense it. So now we're in Carrion, and we didn't get to see Carrion as early in the books as we're seeing it now.
And let me, off the bat, thank you so much for your generosity, Matt Stagger. Your support means everything to us. You are amazing. Thank you so much, and we missed you as well.
And I love this scene right here. I watched this again this morning or today, and I love this scene from him starting out, walking through the city and getting her, because you learn so many things about where he is. You even learn about, you see some of the things he does, like giving things to children. You still see that he's still Rand. He still cares. But you can also see that he's got some determination, on his face. And you wonder, why is he here? Why is what is he doing? Especially for all of the book readers, because this is new to us. And for me, I love it because I was more engaged, because I'm like, what is he doing with this? Where is Rand going? What's he doing? So, I love the fact that I get to watch these scenes and watch more storytelling from the Wheel of Time in a different perspective, because it's like I'm reading it again. And it's like I get the same, warm fuzzies that I was getting before I knew what was going to happen, even in the books. So I'm loving it.
We also see the stark difference between the Foregate, which is a bit of a dirty village, and then when Rand is past the guard, it's cool little Venetian walkways with plants and all this. You can see the affluent difference between the Foregate and the actual city at Cairhien as well.
Yes, and they did stay true to the books in that. Some of the other things that we can also see, especially in this picture right here, we see the Topless Tower. Topless Towers of Carrion, which they talked about a lot, especially in the beginning of the books. They talked about the Topless Towers a lot, and I like that they put that in there. And you can see that they're still not finished, even after 20 years of work, because they got burned down during the Aiel War.
Right. So you can also see.
Looks like work's being done on them, right?
You can see how highly flammable the Foregate is.
Yes, you can actually. Yes, you can. That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but you're right. You can. But you can see how crazy it is and how wild it is, and it's there are a lot of little areas like this in Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time outside of cities or inside of cities even. But I like the Foregate because it's so different than the inner city. The people, the contrast, you can tell that they're the hard workers, and for Rand to be able to be living in the Foregate and working inside the town is a pretty big feat in itself. It's they're like, they usually don't let the undesirables in,
especially if he looks like an Aielman.
True, but we see this very, very shortly after this scene that we were just talking about. We see that Rand's been dyeing his hair brown.
Wait,
nobody caught that?
No, I just thought he shaved it and it was just growing in.
No, I can come back to this later, because I'm gonna. The proof of that comes later. I'm not gonna say it yet. But he's been dyeing his hair.
Wait, did he stop at a gas station bathroom and take out some shoe polish and rub it on his hair?
Outsiders, funny boy kind of situation.
I don't know. Whatever they're using in the Westlands, Rand's
I'm on the lamb.
He's got some product.
Yeah, Celine. She's like, why are your pubes so orange?
Right, and I gotta say, like, It is.
Uh,
She's like, oh, and that's when he's like, "Hey, no secrets, no histories, no past." Hey,
Don't lie.
I love how bustling this is. This is like an appropriate amount of actors. It feels more immersive. Like this,
well, yes.
this is what I thought was missing in season one. For most societies, just felt like parse
And it was because of
or sparse.
COVID-19.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because of COVID and because of all the restrictions that were on sets. And
Also,
this looks.
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go.
I was going to say also just the two acts of him rubbing the kid's head while giving him a penny and the other dude tossing around the tortilla. It was like those two things like really it could have been him just a refugee in the city. No, man, he's rubbing the kid's head. The guy's like, "Hey, Rand, tortilla. Hey."
Yeah,
how's that?"
he's established himself. Yeah.
Right,
So
right. He had a good gig.
now that's a really good point. So, one of the things that they did stress during the book, especially book 2, was how Rand's TAVERN was developing. So is this a small sign of us seeing his TAVERN nature starting to, adapt itself to him? Is he drawing people to him already? Because this is what he started doing in book 2. So that's a possibility.
Here's orange. That's not brown.
Trust me. Trust me.
That's just new growth.
Is that
Yeah,
Gran
that's just new
Turismo
growth.
brand?
That's just new growth, but we'll see. You'll see it.
Okay. Okay.
I have proof. I actually wrote this in my notes.
Right before this, we did have the scene with Leandrin and Moraine. Moraine pretty much calls her out and says, "Hey, I know you're visiting that man who we know is her son. What do you guys," and Beth, we haven't really heard from you. What do you think of this addition wrinkle of having Leandrin actually have this child that she's taking care of, especially with her history that she's alluded to of some sort of abuse in the past?
I thought it was overall a really good take, a good decision. It gives her another level of depth that Book Leandrin is really missing. It gives her apparently, if you can, and this is going ahead in episodes, right? But a little bit, we know that Lanfear has her conversation with Leandrin, and we know at least partially he's her motivations for becoming a dark friend. So I thought it was brilliantly done. There's still some unanswered questions in regard to that. So I'm hoping that maybe they'll continue to use that to flesh Leandrin out even more in season 3. But I just think, and giving Kate Fleetwood any material to work with is going to benefit the show because she's just been so amazing as Leandrin.
She's great.
She can't do any wrong as Leandrin, in my opinion. She just can't.
Right. Gobble up every scene you're in, girl. You and your cheekbones.
She'll be around for a while, so we know what happens to her.
I do think that it also helped convey the agelessness of the Aes Sedai.
Yes.
Without, using effects to make people look a lot younger. It gives them, like this is her son. And he's an old man, and she looks like she's like 35, right? Between 35 and 40 years old. So I think that is it. It was all really well done, and I think it was essential to kind of convey that Aes Sedai live a really long time.
Yeah.
So
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
And one of the differences, so we can see huge differences with Leandrin, obviously, but what they're doing, what I like is they're creating reasons why our characters are doing what they're doing. Mm-hmm. In the books, like Leandrin's reasons were pretty much just avarice. They have what I want, and if I can't have that, I'm just going to join the shadow, which is, it's okay for book reading because it's like, okay, she's evil and she's on the bad side and we have to beat her, but there's a lot of complexity to people in real life, and especially when you're looking at them and watching them and wondering why they do what they do.
Right.
So I thought this was wonderful.
Mhm.
I mean, and also when you think about it, the word, if I were to describe Leandrin in using one word from the books, it would be petty.
Oh yes,
It would
extremely
be petty.
petty.
Like there's literally no depth to Leandrin. There's
Yeah.
no substance whatsoever. And the fact that the show decided to take her and kind of make her the flagship envoy, so to speak, of all of the Dark Friends in at least the first half of the series, it's very important to give her that much needed backstory and material so that we can actually feel engaged with her. You know what I mean? Because if you think about in the books, you think about like any interaction she had. Like if you remember in The Dragon Reborn, when they were in Tyr and Leandrin and her coterie come in and take her from Mother Gwenna's house. They capture her. I didn't feel anything for Leandrin other than I felt was stemming from the pain that she was inflicting on the girls. I had no interest in who she was. It could have been any petty villain, right?
Yeah.
But Leandrin.
No, you're right. It's hands down better. Leandrin and Savannah feel the same way to me, just like one-sided,
petulant, petty, just
hard to have any empathy for, and lacking an origin story. A lot of these characters we meet.
Exactly.
They're full-fledged adults, maybe even hundreds of years old, and we have no idea what their childhoods were like, what their upbringing was like, what they've been through. So,
yeah, I agree.
Which allows for so much storytelling leeway, correct? I mean, something like
a whole lot.
Story, while it is out of character, is not necessarily a huge pull because it never was brought up. So you can create and invent things without changing a fundamental to add some depth. Now with Perrin and Layla, that was a stronger change per se. But even something like that, I'm fine with. I am
too.
Yeah,
because I think we're going to get a lot more from that than we have already. They set up a lot of things well because they had even us as book readers guessing. Why did they do that? Why? I don't like that they did that. Why did they do that? You know, there's one big one that we're going to wait and bring up later on, but there's a lot that we wondered, why did they do that? And those things are coming to fruition now, and we're understanding why. You know, and one of the other things I want to say is that a lot of people don't realize the genius it takes to put so much information in just a few minutes on screen. Like these next 5-10 minutes that we see on screen, like right here, when we see Leandrin explaining things and how the Aes Sedai live and some of their creeds and philosophies, it's passionate, it's awesome, and you get a lot of information of how the sisters are, how they live, and from Nynaeve's perspective, which is awesome because it's her perspective we would be getting if we were reading about this in the books. So it's really interesting how they're showing the things that Nynaeve is most interested in, like healing. And this is a really nice way to show how she's on her path to the Yellow Aja. You know?
Oh, that's when they're healing little young Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Please.
By the way, I have to say, I love the way that they have the costumes for the novices and the accepted.
Mm-hmm.
They're really subtle, but they're super, super impactful. I love the way that I just like the way they did it. It was very, very nice. I thought it was a really nice touch how they do it.
Yeah, I like them cuffs a lot.
In fact, most of the costumes.
You like them cuffs, Dan? Hey, I like them cuffs.
But yeah, they put a lot of information in here. And the next scenes are even better, I think. When we come back to Carrion.
Oh, right. Well, it jumps to Perrin. And I think so. What you were talking about with character development and how much it takes to put onto one screen. And I think the show creators overestimated the impact that Ingtar had. On rewatch, this was a huge Ingtar whole episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Yet, there just wasn't a connection made. So when he dies later in the season, there is not that real connection besides him just being a cool, tough guy.
Didn't Rafe confirm in an episode that they cut his Dark Friend storyline out? Like they had to cut it. It was written into the script, and for whatever reason, they had to cut it, which makes absolutely no sense because it made his death just absolutely fall flat in so many levels.
Yeah, it did. You know? It did.
Our non-show, I think, like,
one of the reasons I think they did something like this too is because Ingtar in the books, he was basically a supporting actor for Rand to help Rand. He was one of like Rand's many Gandalfs, if you know what I mean. And there was no need for him to be that for Perrin because Elias was already there. So I think that they always say this, especially when you're making a film or a television show out of a book, some characters have to go. And what they do is, you think about all the things that someone like Ingtar did, or even someone like Uno did, and can the reasons why they were there be taken over by another character? And unfortunately, in Ingtar's case, it can, because Rand's not there. And in the books, Ingtar was one of those characters that gave Rand a little bit of a, push, a psychological push, a mentoring push, and helped Rand to find who he was. But he didn't have to do that in the show.
Right. And Ryan and I have talked about this before as well, where the redemption arc of Ingtar, we feel, was facilitated from the Flicker and all the lives that Ingtar lived.
Yeah.
And that was where he had his change, where he's like, I got to get out of this dark friendship. And so without the Flicker, the redemption arc itself doesn't make that much sense.
It doesn't.
Or it would just be, I don't know, a little shallow. And so, just take the whole thing away, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I would have rathered that they didn't try to reenact that line from him. A man can hold.
Yeah, I do. Exactly.
I wish they would have just let him die in battle. Don't do such a don't half-ass such a momentous book moment. You know what I mean? Like, it is something. It resonates on so many levels with so many book fans. It shows the humanity of Dark Friends. That was the first time that we saw a Dark Friend not as just an evil being, right? At least that's how it always resonated with me. Is like, oh my gosh, Ingtar is a Dark Friend. I just remember being floored when I first read that 30 years ago or whatever, and just being absolutely.
Yeah, you're right. I remember that.
So it was almost like when they did the line with Lan and Nynaeve in season 1 with, like, no man, I hate the man who'll love you, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, I love the line. But it just came out of like left field almost. It was like thrown in there to give some fan service to book people.
Yeah. Yep.
And I feel like eliminating the Ingtar storyline for being a Dark Friend and then having this like heroic moment that didn't even come across as remotely heroic because they were literally like 15 feet away when he died. It was just like, just have him take a spear in the stomach or something and just have him die gallantly. Don't give him this route.
Right. We could hold 20 men here. 4 seconds later. Oh.
Right.
Now, does that also mean that the Shinarans that were at the Dark Friend social are still with Rand and not dead?
There aren't any Shinarans with Rand.
There was.
There
not
was?
with Rand.
Well, not with Rand. I'm sorry. With Perrin. I'm talking about with Perrin. I'm sorry. Not with Rand. With Perrin. So are
question.
they still alive? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because they were, at the social.
Mm-hmm.
So are they still there?
And if we take away this storyline then, and yet add that Uno becomes a hero of the Horn, well, gosh, in the battles that we see in this episode, I would say I would take Ingtar over Uno like every day. Ingtar it just kicks more ass.
Yeah.
And then Uno
I would
dies
too.
ungloriously by saying "eat shit" to them, and they're like, "All right, fine." And then just in general, it's just a little weird. Ingtar should have been big. He was big, but he wasn't big. But he was just nothing at the end. But
I mean,
right
the actor
now,
who portrayed him was beautiful, and it was
So
very sad to
beautiful.
see him die at the end. I mean, he was definitely channeling some hot Ingtar action there, but yeah, I wasn't still emotionally invested enough in him to be really sad when he went away.
right,
Unfortunately.
man. Which was a bummer. We do see a little bit more. What do you think of the way that Perrin got lost in the vision? Apparently, we're combining the smell of violence that Huron had with wolf visions. And
I thought they did that expertly because in the books it was Rand who walked into that house and saw all that. And the way that they meshed it for Perrin, I think, was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I think it made even more sense than even in the book. Because, at least there's a reason why Perrin actually can do this right now. Rand just walked into it, like it manifested itself in front of him. And there wasn't even really a reason why it happened like that in the book, other than him walking in, Perrin and Elias, were right there, and they both. If you remember, it's not just Perrin who saw this; Elias saw it too.
Mm-hmm.
And they
so
talk.
That's my question: Are we going to have them communicate with wolves, or just see these visions? I
think they're going to do it the way where Perrin will or Elias, they'll answer the wolves. With an answer that lets us know what the question was.
It would be like Charlie Brown talking to their teachers.
Or like, no. Or,
yeah.
Wah, wah, wah,
or it'll be like, well, Perrin will be like, what? Look at like Hopper or one of the wolves and be like.
He won't be looking at Hopper.
Or no, not Hopper, but he'll look at like, say, Byrne or White Eyes and say something like,
Too soon, Beth.
They did follow us here. Something like that. They'll do that. They'll do stuff like that.
I mean, it could be looking at Hopper if they bring Hopper to tell Aaron to the wolf.
And they will.
Possibly.
I'm not. Well, you can't ever be 100% sure, but I'm in the high 90s that Hopper will be back.
Are we going to have smelled emotions?
Huh?
Some what emotions?
Smelled emotions.
Oh,
I think they'll definitely do that because it's cheap, and they can use it. For a show.
What? How?
I'm not sure how they're going to be able to. They have to be very careful to come across not as cheesy.
He's lying. I can tell. I mean,
all right, here comes the poll.
If he moves his nostrils and said, "She's terrified,"
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're going to use it. It's too cheap not to be able to use it. It doesn't cost anything, and it helps with the storytelling. They're going to use it. They have to.
Right. I like that last example you give where someone goes, well, this, and he goes, then why do you smell so scared? That was a pretty good Marcus, right?
Yeah, I think he can. And you know what? They'll even easy way to introduce something like that is by one of the wolves doing it first. Like Perrin's with one of the wolves and like somebody says something and he listens to him. He's like, you're right. I do smell that. And then from now on, we know Perrin can detect that. They'll find a way to do it that way. But I don't like how they're doing, because it's like the way they're doing the wolves right now. I've heard people say how they don't like it. I've heard a lot of people say they do, but the people that I hear say they don't like it don't have really an answer for what else they would do. You know, that would make it better. I don't see a whole lot, you know, other than them making like dire wolves like they did in Game of Thrones. That's the only thing I could see, and that's just so expensive.
What the feeling I'm getting, so I'm in a D&D campaign where one of the people we have has a pet fox, a familiar that's a fox, but 2/3 of the time she forgets she has him, and I feel like that's Perrin and his wolf.
I'm in that same D&D campaign,
Yeah, we both. and then he's like, "All right, stay here, boy. Good boy." Bye.
Right.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But
yeah, see, I don't think Perrin's going to forget because of his storyline from the books. I think that him being able to talk to the wolves from now on is going to be a focal point of his entire character arc. Because it's what prepares him for the last battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that they're going to focus on the wolves with Perrin every time now. And something else that they're doing more of, which I love more than anything, and I was hoping that they were going to do this, is every time they are doing scenes with certain characters, the film is that they're using is different. The film, the way that they film it, like it's they take a lot of color out of it, out of the film when they're doing Perrin scenes. It's more hazy. It looks more almost, I would say, like a Western. And when they go to Rand scenes, they're more dark. The filming's more dark. But when they go to Matt scenes, it opens up a little bit. It's more of a jolly kind of, you know, partying vibe, more or just the camaraderie vibe. And I like the way that they're doing that. And they even are doing that with Egwene and Nynaeve. I like that because it helps with storytelling. It helps, just like the whistling with Pat and Fane. There's certain like things, like signatures that they're doing with the characters that I like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think Matt Cawthon and Min are the coolest buddy team around. I mean, they're great.
I think that they should have been a long time ago. I think that they should have been this way.
I love Matt and Min in this season. I wish we would have gotten more of Matt and Min.
Yeah, they work. Their chemistry is really, really good. They work really. They go together really well. Mm-hmm. And they went together really well, surprisingly, in the books as well. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I like that, and I like how Matt's character basically flirts with every woman that walks by. He even flirted a little bit with Leandrin, like when he was his captive, you know. So, and Matt is going to be a lot less likable character than he is in the books, because we're going to see Matt for what he really, really is, what they couldn't really show in the books. Like, Matt's going to be a philandering drunk who loves to gamble, and I mean, he's going to be. That's what he's going to be. We're not going to like Matt as much, but that's who he needs to be. And I'm really, 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 really interested to see how they're going to play a lot of things, because we know that Rafe Judkins doesn't care if someone was with someone in the books in a certain time. They're changing that up. Will Matt go to the Waste? Who knows? You know, there's a lot of new things coming that you don't know what are going to happen. And that makes me want to, I mean, I'm going to come back regardless, but that makes me really interested in season 3. I'm chomping at the bit for it. I can't hear you, brother Dan.
Sorry about that. Let's talk a little bit about Rand as an orderly. So we find
Brother
him.
Dan, real quick, Brother Dan. He comes with the wine. Just wants to let everyone know that he joined.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It sounds so religious.
I love it. Let me get one more quick shout out to Lexington, my son who's watching. I love you, buddy.
Hey, Lexington.
Oh, what's up?
So
are you watching on the site formerly known as Twitter?
I have no idea what he's watching it on. I just know he's savvy enough to do it, and he told me he was.
Awesome. Well done. Well, thank you, Lexington. We are. All right, Rand. Rand is guiding someone from the war who has PTSD.
Yes.
He is in a rough area where there are people with mental situations that are. This seems like to the extreme of you hear moans and screams all throughout the hallways. It's not a pleasant environment, and this one orderly is picking on Errol, slamming things, triggering his PTSD. Rand ends up beating up this guy and beating him up pretty good. I don't think he meant to hurt him as bad as he did, but let's talk about the motivation there. Did he do this so that he would have access to Logain? Or did he do it as a retribution to protect our friend Arrow? Or because the guy was just an asshole and needed to be put in his place? Why exactly did he beat him up, and what's going on there, do you think?
I think it was all both, and I think he was looking for a way to get into his position, and I think that was the easiest way, and it does. Again, like TAVERN stumbled upon him. And even though we're talking about this, if we go back even like 3 minutes before this, when he's with Errol talking, I wanted to reiterate what I've been saying. We saw so much information in this 2 minutes right here. Like especially for non-book readers. Non-book readers figured out that the Eel War was 20 years ago. They found out that there are sword forms that we even hear 2 of them. I believe one was cutting the clouds. Parting the we got that. We got and this is one of the parts. This is why when I talked about the proof, he started realizing that every time that Errol saw him, he looked like an Aielman. We see him change with colored hair changed kind of a little bit after this, I think.
Okay, I'm going to have to keep my eyes open for that. But we also learned about the Heron Mark blade. He mentioned
we learned about the Heron Mark blade, which is really cool.
And it's a clever way to bring up this vast history that we read about in a quick conversation, a quick 30-second.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you, would Rand have beat this guy up for for his job if the guy wasn't an asshole?
I don't think that because of the wheel, I don't think there's any way the guy wouldn't have been an asshole. I think that the wheel is giving Rand what he needs when it needs it, and when it needs it to him to have it.
What do you think, Beth?
I think that's a pretty fair take. I think that now let's just take out Rand being TAVERN. Rand needed to go he needed a way to get to Logain. I don't think Rand just would have beat the shit out of that guy. Excuse my language. He wouldn't have beat him up so badly if he wasn't a bad apple. That's just not in Rand's nature to be that way. I mean, we even when he kind of loses his marbles in the books a little bit and he starts to go on his sprees that he did a few times where he kind of loses things, he still has his sense of morality and his righteousness for why he's doing what he's doing, even though it's terrible things. I don't think Rand's moral compass, being TAVERN or not, would have let him beat somebody up like that without having what he thinks is justifiable cause to do it. So
totally. And when he started beating him up, didn't we see manifestations of the power?
Yeah, that's when he got all.
So
now, my question is, did we see black?
When I saw it, it looked like it was yellow, glowy yellow.
Okay.
Did not
because it was all yellow. Dan,
it was all yellow.
It was all yellow. Sorry.
Because that could have been if we saw black, that could have been a reason why that jumping into it is the reason why he went too far, because of the taint.
All right, I'm going to try and find it and see what we can see.
Yeah, this is a very good point, Roland. We didn't see Rand be all cool giving street kids stuff, only to have him knock the guy out for nothing. Welcome, by the way. I'm glad you're here.
Welcome.
Let's this episode we meet the daughter Evel Andor.
Oh my god, I love.
Who
her
I
so
love.
much.
Oh, so do I. I think she's great, and she puts a lot of herself. We learn a lot about her very quickly too. Things that we didn't learn about Elaine until later, like her loving to tinker with things.
Mm-hmm.
When she was making her homebrew, I
makes
love
her
that
own
scene.
moonshine.
Yeah,
It's like the best thing ever.
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
all right, let's go, Elaine.
It's like and then you also see her character when she wouldn't rat out the person that helped her bring her things into the White Tower, and she decided to take her punishment.
I loved that. I loved that. Because to be honest with you, at first, when they first introduced her, I was like, oh, no. Like when they were talking about her visits to the White Tower when she was younger, I was like, oh, come on. Really? Really? They're going to make her like that entrenched in how the White Tower goes. But
there's black in there. There's black in there. So that is what happened. That's what they're trying to say happened, that the taint made him go too far. And even
I don't think so. I think he was already going that far, and he lost control of his emotions, and that's when he started channeling. He was already beating the shit out of the dude before he started channeling.
That's true.
I mean, he just lost control of his emotions, and he pulled on the one power because he was not in control.
Yeah,
that's
true.
That's what happened there. He had already beat the living shit out of the guy before he started channeling, before he ceased Sidene. I mean, that's my take on it.
Yeah, that's true.
But,
oh yeah, Dan's reenacting it.
Are you beating something up, or are you vomiting? Are you projectile vomiting?
Throw a beer can at him. Oh, throw boxes at him.
Dan, you're going too far. You're gonna start channeling.
Flying elbow.
Wow, that's some pro wrestling moves there. Some wrestling.
Oh shit! I channeled. I gotta go. And scene.
You gotta clean that up. Clean that channeling up, Dan.
And guess what? Rand got a raise.
He got a promotion.
There's no justice. And that poor Errol. Errol can't go outside. He's not rich enough. So Rand just said, "Bye, Errol. I'm going to Logan."
All right. Speaking of justice, we have a poll that is active. We need everyone to vote. It's going to close soon. Well, it says, "Will parents smell your petty emotions?" Yes or no?
I like Elaine. And I do like the way that she's portrayed here. I like that she has all her maids bringing her shit. She goes into Egwin's room. She's like, oh, thank God you're just getting here too. This place is a dump, right? Look at all this crap they left around. Crap. Where's this from, like Bed Bath and Barf?
I thought that was a cute scene. I thought that, I like how strong Egwene is in these scenes. And you can tell how Egwene doesn't think she's going to be friends with Elaine at first. You can see that. And that actually pays true to the books, because there was a little bit of tension between those two when they first got together because of Rand, in the books at least. And they write about it, and Egwene was a little upset. Like, in what she says, she was like, I dance with one nice boy and he walks around looking like a sick puppy to everybody. I remember she said that. Isn't that what she said? Like she said that in the books.
Because by this time, she knows about Min, and she knows about Elsa Grinwell, and she knows about. She finds out about Elaine. Yep.
What the hell? Like, I can't wait till see Egwene's face when she finds out about Celine.
And Egwin's so funny. She's like, yeah, I'm glad you're new. Don't put your shit in front of my door. Okay, thanks. Bye. She's like, wait.
Okay, thanks. Bye.
No.
See,
I
this is
got
one
one.
of the little inconsistencies that I didn't understand about this. When they put the line in here that Elaine had been to the tower many times before, why wouldn't she know, or her household know, that she was not allowed to bring all of her shit with her? That it's just a little inconsistency. Like,
Yeah,
like,
maybe
why
a little
would
bit
that
right
have
there.
been permitted at, like, why would it, even if like well-intentioned maidservants wanted to make sure that she was comfortable, if she had been to the tower many times before, why wouldn't she have known that and said,
Well,
no, we can't bring all these things?
Well, think about her as a young daughter heir, not a novice, coming to the White Tower.
That's true. Good take.
And getting all of the accolades and sitting
that's
on
fair.
laps and like making things grow for me, and I'm the daughter heir.
Wait,
and
sitting on laps?
Making things grow while sitting on laps, or
like all those things.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, and the funny part was when Egwene was taken on a tour, and like an Aes Sedai walks by, she's like, "What up, girl?" And she's like, "Hey, girl." She's like, "Oh yeah, I've been here."
And that's another big difference too. That and a difference, but a way that they fixed it was, in the books, Elaine was already at the tower when Egwene got there, and in the show that wasn't the case, but they still said that she had been there before. They didn't say anything like that in the books. In fact, they even said that she hadn't been there yet.
Right.
So
they
that was
don't really say why she would have been there. We just assume, well, okay, she's royalty.
I think it was their way of trying to establish the deep relationship that Andor has with Tar Valon. I think that was the reason why they would do that. Because all the daughters there go there, and they're just trying to give exposition to keep the plot line moving without dumping, story dumping.
Totally, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I just noticed her handmaidens, let's just call them that, because are dressed like the Romanian National Choir.
Well, they're not. They're wearing. They're wearing
Andor livery.
Yeah, Andor livery.
Jinx.
Let's jump ahead to where Moraine and Lan are hanging out with Varen, Tomas, and Adeleas. And they start talking a little bit about like history, and Moraine opens up about their history and is pretty right on with what the entire prologue says, where she followed him out of Chechen, snuck up, tried to grab his sword. He threw her in the pond. Very cool.
At first I hated, and I know a lot of other people did too, the storyline with Lan and Moraine. Mm-hmm. But I know why now, after thinking about it a lot, I know why they're doing this. Because they had to find a way for the audience to really grasp those two characters and hold them dear. Because the further along we go in this story is the further along they go from being main characters to supporting characters. And so later on, when they're going to be doing so many other things with other characters, although there's some very impactful moments with Lan and Moraine, there's not a whole lot of them. And they still want us to hold these characters dear, as which we should, because all of us have, after reading it over the past 20, 30 years. So this is one thing that I believe they needed to do to give non-book readers a feel and a grasp of these two characters. So I know why they did this. It wasn't my favorite, but I think they needed to do it so people can keep Moraine and Lan in their hearts.
We have come into the vernacular of the term conscious uncoupling, and I think these scenes, Lan should have been played by Adam Driver.
Oh my god, I love Adam Driver so much. He is one of my
like a marriage
crushes.
story.
I'm not gonna lie. I love him.
Okay. So I really like the way that they again they were very efficient in bringing a lot of history into this episode.
Oh my goodness, so much.
We also see that Nynaeve is a habitual prowler. And so she, in season 1, she kind of prowled after Lan while he was eating food with his family and stuff. She was like peeking through the window. Here in this episode, she follows to see what's her name, the red
Leandrin.
Leandrin. This is a bad, not cool thing to do, Nynaeve. Quit following people surreptitiously, would you? It's only going to get you in trouble. She's twice.
She's extremely inquisitive. I guess, yes, she is. But Nynaeve is an inquisitive woman in the books as well, and wants to find out what she's doing. And she does it a lot more in the books. So that's definitely stays close to her character. But we are missing one thing we didn't talk about. If we back up a little bit, when we go to Moraine and where she's staying, we get introduced to Viren Sedai, which is and Adelis, who they did change. They took away Adelis' sister, Vandene, and made it Viren, which I think was a very smart move. And it helps not only drive the story. It was a really nice way to introduce Viren because they had to change that from the books.
Mm-hmm.
And
I want to say for the record, I called that they were going to do this.
I believe you did. I believe I remember you doing this. They were going
to do this. I thought they were going to get rid of both of them. I didn't know that they were going to keep one of the sisters, but I was like, they're going to replace Vandene and Adeleas with Viren. And that is how they're going to make her relevant in season 2. So I would just like to say,
well done, Beth. Good job.
Okay.
I think you did on the show as well. It's seamless the way they do it. These sisters are fun. They obviously fuck. They're great. They have the sweetest Tuscan villa, like in in the mountains. Like they're living the life.
Facts.
Yeah. Facts. But keep in mind, here's another fact. It also gives Viren another way to die.
No. We're not going there.
No. I was thinking Adeleas is she's going to die.
Dude.
Viren is going to feel Adeleas thing, and then
yes, keep going.
No, Viren's not going to die. Viren's going to die the way she's supposed to die.
No, we are not going to have Viren and Tomas dying. Or when they're trying to go rescue Elaine from the Dark Friends in the Black Aja in Camelin after she's been kidnapped by David Hanlon. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Okay.
Because Varen's arc is way too essential for the long game.
I understand, but they've already changed her arc now.
Well, no, but get this though. She's going to. I can see them getting rid of. Picking up all the kin in Ebudar and Vandene and Adeleas kind of guiding it, maybe getting rid of the storyline of that happening, and maybe Adeleas gets off in the way Vandene got off, and then Viren still gets off the way Viren gets off.
That's a really good way to put it.
That's
there's really no need to have the kin in this show.
No.
When you think about it. At least not to the extent that they are portrayed in. I mean,
that's another.
I just don't think it needs to be a driving huge storyline like Rian, Halford, and all them. Yeah, they can be in the books.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also different. We needed to find a way to get Viren back to Tar Valon too, because there's some things that she has to give our girls. There's so much. There's so much. She has to be there. Right. She has to be there. And they've set that up perfectly. So, I mean, we know what's happening there. And I will say this. Viren is perfect.
I love her. Is it Myrna Saul? Is that her name?
She is perfect for this part.
I
love her to death. I mean, it's just all the mannerisms, everything she encapsulates Viren Sedai. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think her sister is a massive talent on screen. So Viren can just gobble up every scene, I think. And with Elias, like when she was like, no, and when she waved her away, she sparked this charisma that even Varen was like, okay, yeah, no, let Lan talk. It was badass, like the way they seem like sisters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. I think the location is so gorgeous. I just want to be there. I want to Airbnb be there.
See what you did there, sir.
And then we have the Shanshin invasion.
Yes.
The Shanshin, Perrin had no idea. Perrin was just snoozing. Suddenly, dudes come out and drag him by the feet. He's like, wait, what? Huh? Oh, battle? Huh? Oh, battle everywhere. Oh, the entire city is fighting. Huh?
Yes. Now, this kind of upset me in a couple of ways.
Uh-huh.
Now, first, I will say that I love the costumes that they've done for the Shanshin. They've taken the most time and the most detail. But I'm also disappointed that we didn't see any of the animals from the book that come with the Shanshin. And there's a great number of them, and they are part of the reason that makes them so scary in the books. And I'm hoping that they didn't take so much time on the costumes to try to make them scary because they're deciding on not having that.
Well, to your point, Jansen, I think we got proof that we are not going to get a Drakkar, because the attack on Rand and Moraine of the 3 fades, that was perfect for a Drakkar to show up. If we were going to get one, I think it would have happened then.
And that's when it happened in the books, so you're absolutely right.
So I don't think we're getting that. We got an Easter egg of a Grom on the ship mast when the big wave came, but I think that's all we're going to get for a Grom, to be honest. I think it's just that little nod.
I hope not.
I don't. Do you think? What? Did we see any
rockin' or toe rockin'?
Did we even see Shreddit?
No, we didn't see it. But if we do see any, that's the one we will see.
We would see, because you don't have to
use
any. I mean, you have to use a live animal budget, but you wouldn't have to do like massive CGI to create this. Yeah, I get it.
This is when we see Messima, who is a badass.
Oh, so handsome.
That's not his name. His name is Hot Sima. Okay.
Oh, Hot Sima.
It's
okay.
Hot, like he cannot be. No, he's Hot Sima. I mean, that's
What if there's 2 of them?
His sword work is awesome. I mean, he's great.
Yeah, he knows. Great. That's the word I'd use. 100%.
I love that he's kicking ass here, and then he comes back out like with a shirt on. He's like, "Oh, I had to get dressed." We'll see him in a minute. He pops back out and he has a shirt.
Yeah, I'm like, he's my number 1 candidate for being one of the men who was at the Dark Friend social. I believe that they're going to make him a Dark Friend. That's just my thought.
I know. I think that it was Ingtar who was there, and they just never. They're never going to show you who it was.
But who was the other one? But there were 2.
No, there was one, and the other one was a white cloak.
No, there were 2.
I have to go rewatch it.
I'm not sure. But that is a good point. It could just be unknown, never known in Aaron. It could be that it was something that they didn't retcon away.
Yeah, there were 2.
Or that they talk about it where like somehow they find out that Ingtar is a Dark Friend and they mention it in a future season. I mean,
possibly, that's true. They could do that.
The reason why I disagree with your thing about him being a Dark Friend is because in the end, the look on his face when he sees Rand, like in Falma, and realizes that he's,
it was like, oh my god,
it was that look of
true and this
revelation
is what, that's true.
And so unless they're going to meld Ingtar's storyline in with Messima, but that would take away the entire him becoming a radical zealot, like forming a whole religion based on Rand. And I don't know, we'll see. I kind of almost hope they don't do that, because that I didn't love that storyline, and I could picture it going a whole nother way. If he is a dark friend, then let that be like the storyline that grips you and it's like redemption arc.
I even thought of a theory that Messima might like not even be a dark friend at all and might live through the entire thing. Because at the very end, in the last battle, spoiler alert, huge spoiler alert, in Memory of Light at the last battle, all of those dragon sworn show up. I can't think of a better person to lead them than him into the last battle. Because if you think about it, he wasn't a dark friend in the books.
Right, and the complexity of the prophet itself would be so diminished if it was a dark friend. I would not like that. I'd like the fact that he thought he was doing right. He thought in his heart of heart that he was doing the right thing, and he was just misguided, but his conviction was true, as opposed to a dark friend who's just trying to manipulate it all. I like the danger of someone who thinks they are in the right.
Yeah, I do too.
So I hope that he is not a dark friend. I hope he's.
I actually like Messima's character too. I like that character.
Look at that cut bicep. Oh my god. Sorry.
Dude's looking good. Dude's ripped, that's for sure.
And I guess this ends with the weird relationship of Rand and Selene again, where he kind of like choke kisses her.
Yeah, from the taint messing with him and him being scared, and he's starting to get, in the books, he started getting a little strange. Things started happening around him. He started feeling different impulses, which I believe are the beginnings of Leaf Theron coming into his mind. But we'll see.
Is that what you think, Beth? Is his behavior well, let me rephrase it this way. Could it instead be Selene herself that is creating this the choke kissing or is it Luz? I mean, is it the madness, or is she trying to do some sort of influence on him?
I don't think she's trying to have any kind of influence on him in that way, because she doesn't need to. They've already established that relationship, and I think I am Matt Stecker. I think that that's part of the dynamic between Selene and Rand. She's the older woman, more experienced. She is apparently like letting or encouraging him to let out his anger. Like she's I can't really explain it. It's a vibe. The vibe is different. She's not like, he wants to cry here, right? He wants to be, he's upset. She's encouraging him to man up, basically. And she's she knows how to push his buttons. And you know what? Does that make sense? I can't really explain it. It's like, she knows him. She knows Leaf Theron. She knows Rand. And she's a master manipulator. I don't think she's using the power. I don't think she's corrupt. She's coercing him. I think she just knows what the fuck she's doing.
Well, keep in mind too, she's the most beautiful woman on the planet right now, and I mean, that's got to play its part.
I mean, that scene right there, you have to move it forward about 8, 12, 15 frames, please. Like I'm hot and bothered. Just move on.
Yeah.
Move on.
See, I think that's Leaf Theron breaking through, saying you.
It could be.
That's what I think.
It could be.
Yeah, I think it's Leaf Theron like you, and then Rand taking over and saying, I think this is the beginning of it.
Like, I mean, it's entirely possible.
We have not seen any outward sign of madness from him yet. There's been no voice. We had Logain. He was surrounded by these two shadow women that were like, just like your mom and sister. Fuck them. But
bro, he just pummeled someone to a pulp.
His emotions are running high right now, and she is manipulating him.
This isn't a sign of madness.
Though. No, it's not a sign of madness.
It's a sign of puberty.
No. This is a sign of
kind of, yeah,
aggression manifesting itself in a different way. Or she's trying to focus him is what she's doing. She's trying to get him to stop feeling sorry for what he did. You know what I mean? She's trying to not
I like stars.
She's not trying to like distract him, but she's trying to get him to channel that emotion towards her. I don't have another way to put it.
So she's like, all right, you know what? This is not sexy. Like, and she's basically like, choke me.
I mean, look she loves it. She
loves
that he's doing that to her.
She's gonna go.
I'm here for it. You go, girl. You go. You have that power.
It's his coming of rage story. That's great.
Coming of rage story.
Classic coming of rage story.
Yeah. Or coming from rage.
Ooh. Hate.
So now we have Rand. What's the next scene after that, though? Isn't the next scene back to the White Tower, or is it Matt and Min?
It's back to the White Tower.
Back to the White Tower. And this is
where they're sneaking drinks.
Yeah, and this is when they're doing chores, and this is when Elaine takes the punishments and things like that we've already talked about.
The world's thinnest doors. Nynaeve could hear them whispering like all the way across the hall.
Oh, that's right. That's when she talks about.
She's like, Nynaeve really hurts. And it's like, no.
This is when she's accepting her punishment, though, when she's not willing to rat out.
Yeah, this is when she's not willing to rat out.
Right.
And she's like, okay, then I'll accept. Then I'll expect you in my office every morning for the next 3 months.
And that's when Egwene realizes that there's more to this girl than meets the eye.
Yeah, exactly. And Shiriam also does as well.
Mm-hmm.
She does as well.
Look at her eyes. She's like, what?
She has that look a lot this season. She really does.
Yeah, she does. Like, oh.
My pillows. I travel with a pillow, so I understand, Elaine.
A pillow is different than.
Is it a my pillow, Dan?
Yeah, but I have two maids bring it.
I mean, she went full on Paris Hilton and tried to bring everything,
Yeah. They're like, no chihuahuas allowed.
I'm surprised there wasn't a chihuahua with her,
Isn't Kim Kardashian her closet maiden?
No, they were very good. No, they were friends, actually. Their parents were friends. The father was an attorney, a very high attorney here in Los Angeles, and he's friends with them.
O.J. Simpson trial, baby.
Yep.
Way back in the day.
Funny how a lot of those attorneys are dead.
We're getting there, guys.
Cochran, him. Wow, interesting. But yeah, and so after that, we also talked about Nynaeve being a creeper, or a voyeuristic woman who likes to follow people around and see what they're doing. And this is when she followed Leandrin around and discovered that Leandrin was trying to take care of someone. We don't know who she is yet. We find out very soon, but we find out that Leandrin's trying to console this man, make him feel better. But what she's doing instead is hurting him more, because she doesn't have the knowledge of herbs that Nynaeve has. And Leandrin gets enraged by this. This is something that did not happen at all in the books.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that was created for new watchers, for non-book readers. And it was created to help her, Leandrin's story arc and her personality and the person she is.
Was Crimson Thorn in the book?
Yes, it was.
Okay, and it was a death agent?
I believe it was something that they gave heavy doses to kill a dog. Was it that? No. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember. What was Crimson Thorn root used for? I believe in... I do know that it did not have the exact same effect that they made it have here.
What'd the five fingers say to the face?
Nynaeve didn't take that punch well though. But it was good. It was good enough.
Well, no, I mean, I've seen slap contests, and you got to use the hips. Leandrin went full.
Yeah, there's a lot of torque in this one.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
a lot of torque.
So according to the Wheel of Time companion,
Well done.
Crimson Thorn is a plant whose white root shavings were sweet and used in a tea. Used in small amounts, it acts as a painkiller.
It's what killed Adelis,
In
right?
larger amounts, it paralyzed and killed. The plant was found far from the sea. That's what it said.
It killed Adelis.
I'm sure, or it paralyzed her because she
Yeah.
Adelis was her. She was her
Yeah.
throat was slit, but
that's-
it probably
but that's-
paralyzed her
Yeah.
or made her,
And she knew what was happening the whole time while it was doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's probably also what was put in the tea. Mazrim Time probably was what was used most likely to put people to sleep, the men who channel that were going mad.
Oh, a little
It's
something in the
probably-
wine.
Yep, a little something in the wine. It was
In
probably,
fact, that's the name of the chapter where Rand gives it to what was the shaman's name who turned into a child protecting men?
Bobby.
Oh, no.
Bobby
yeah,
Brown.
that was Lance.
No, it was
It was Mance Raider.
oh my god.
They called him the chocolate
Come on, Noman Garden, help us out.
rain.
It was Fedwin Moore.
Thank you.
Fedwin,
No.
Fedwin. Fedwin?
Yes,
Or-
maybe. It sounds very, 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 very on point, possibly. And Noman Garden is going to let us know
Yeah.
in less than 60 seconds in chat because that's just how he rolls.
Yeah, I thought it was Fedwin.
Yeah,
I
'cause
can't
I was saying
remember.
Harold but I was thinking Fedwin more.
Fedwin Moore, you're right. It's Fedwin. You were absolutely right.
Kyle.
The memory's still good.
Yes, it is Fedwin Moore. You're right.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Yeah.
Kill me.
How do you
Pretty
for bonus points? How do you spell Fedwin Moore?
I know the
Morr is his last name, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Moore.
Fedwin Moore. Fedwin. Yeah, that was it.
No one
And he
spelled
was
it yet.
he died. I mean, he died by the wine in Rand's arms. After he was trying to protect men with building blocks of bricks.
Mhm.
All right, I love the names. Yeah, was his name Chad? Was his
No.
name Sergio? Was
All
his
of a
name
sudden-
Inigo Montoya? Was it
All of a
Frodo?
sudden, I'm picturing Dovey needs to do an adult Dr. Seuss book. Was it Brad? Or was
I
it
will give a
Chad?
shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to Noman Garden because Tame did call him this one. I give you props on that. I
I
remember
do
the
not
text.
like two dicks in butt.
That's trending.
All
What
right.
else about this episode that we wanted to bring up?
Here's the one the big one, the one that I've been talking about the whole time. I want to talk about it because I know we're running short on time. But
No, we're good. Yeah.
Rand going in to meet Logain.
Mm-hmm.
This was a big part, something that did not happen in the books. But as soon as Rand does walk in to meet Logain, Logain says this: "Your roots are orange."
He said, "Wait, he says it in here."
Yes.
I don't remember. I didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, he said your roots are orange because they're growing in. You can see the roots of your hair growing in, and they're orange. I don't understand. Look at this. That's.
He says
That's
your
orange.
roots are orange.
I don't know what color do you say. I don't know.
I do see
I
orange.
see auburn hair. That's
You
I've
know,
never
color
not
is relative,
seen
but
auburn colored hair on Rand this entire time.
that's more Garfield than.
I'm
you know.
telling you right now, he says Logain, the first thing he says to him is your roots are orange.
You're you. Oh yeah. No, hold on. All right, now you got me.
He says it.
I don't have the captions on. Oh, I love that smile. That right there. Yeah. Right here, you
Can we just talk about Alvaro Morte? Can we just?
He doesn't say
great.
anything.
You'll
He doesn't
see.
say anything.
You'll see what he says. Your
I'm
roots are
why? I
orange.
just touched it.
Oh,
He
so
works
this
out.
isn't until the next. Okay, this is in the next.
Oh,
chapter.
so
Yeah, no-
episode 3 is
Episode
when he
3.
says
Yes,
that. Okay,
yes,
I see.
yes. Episode 3. He says it. Says your roots are. First thing he said. First sentence. Your roots are orange.
This courtyard looks better than anything in Tarvalon.
There's persimmons.
Just saying.
Well, that's because Carrion, the inner city of Carrion, is always clean. It's always nice, but it's dull. It's a grid. It's what do they say about the Carrion? At least they don't have a lot of imagination. Everything is like stark, almost uncolorful. Even the city itself is a grid. It's kind of like Manhattan.
We will talk about this more when it goes on. But to me, this storyline between Logain and Rand was not very fulfilling. It did not seem like he received much information from Logain, but then suddenly had some power near the end of the season. So
Brother,
I wish we had seen at least one training montage.
a training montage, yeah.
But we don't. So we'll get to it there because he's pretty much asking Logain for knowledge. It doesn't seem like he gets it from him.
I think the thing that's super important about this scene is it's going to lay a foundation of how they already know each other in
Hugely.
seasons. Because one of the things that never really kind of makes sense, right, is when Logain comes to the Black Tower after Nynaeve heals him. The first time he meets Rand is as an envoy of the Black Tower, if I remember correctly.
At Elgaren's house in Tyr.
Yes, just before the horde of Trollocs comes and attacks it, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is good because it's going to establish a precedent that Rand knows Logain.
Well, I think it also does more than that. I think Logain is going to found the Black Tower.
I think the Black Tower is going to be founded before Logain gets ungentled. Master of Time's already been referenced. He's been name dropped already. I can't imagine that, and I think they're gonna. I fully think that we're gonna get Team Andred in this.
Yeah, but there's one thing they've changed about this that they didn't have in the books, and this this is a spoiler about next week. But Logain says that he can see male channelers.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean there's not another way to identify male channelers.
No, true, but they never had any information like that in the books at all.
But they just replaced him being able to see Taverin. That was the thing. They just replaced seeing Taverin as a talent versus seeing men who could channel.
And the other thing is this. Keep this in mind. There's no way that they're going to be able to cast as many characters that are in the books on the show. They just can't do it. That's too many. So they have to find ways for the people that they have cast to do things and stay on the show. I think that Logain is in prime position to take some of Asmodean's things from the books and from Mazrim Taim's things in the books. And I think that, they're going to start using the fact that the Forsaken can change their appearance. I think they're going to start doing some of those things, and some of those things are going to make them some of the same people.
That's why I think they're going to embrace the Mazrim Time is Demandred thing. I think that's something that we're going to see. That was like a huge fan theory.
I think that they may do that too.
So I do think that Logain is going to be a champion for the light, and
I do believe that too. I believe that.
I do. I want to see Mazrim Time as a flushed out villain.
True. And keep this in mind, all of the rumors that we've been talking about that have been spread in this community for the past 3, 4, 5 years have not been coming to fruition.
Correct.
They're not going to do that.
Largely.
They're not going to do that. You know, like they're not going to say, "Oh, these guys know what's happening. We'll show them." Like, believe me, no producer or director wants what's going to happen already out there. So it's going to be different. Like
they're not going to, in my opinion, they're not going to have disguises. We've already had 2, Ishamael and Lanfear, that have not been disguised. And why would they be disguised? Who are they hiding from? No one can recognize them. There's no pictures back there. Only Luz Theron. And so far, Luz hasn't told Rand anything saying, hey, by the way, that's Lanfear. He doesn't know anything. So I don't think we're going to have disguises unless someone dies and comes back, and then there'll be a new person. But I think that the Mask of Mirrors will be used as a season finale thing. And then then in the next season after that, people will be using them readily. I think that they're going to be some undiscovered talents in this production, just like the books. And in the books, there were a number of undiscovered talents that people started manifesting. And I think that they're going to show a lot of them. And I definitely think that it's going to, as far as money, it's really easy to have a power to make somebody turn into somebody else. All they're going to do is shimmer it and be a new dude. And I think they're going to do that. They're going to find ways to save money. And I think that they're going to use those tricks.
We're also going to absolutely get a young, hot, sexy Morden. 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get a young,
I definitely agree with that.
Sexy.
Somebody that counters
Rand version 2.0.
Yeah, somebody that counter. It's going to be Yoshi's counter. Definitely. Yeah. They're going to have they're definitely going to do that. And, because that's a big thing. One of the Dark One's biggest powers is bringing people's souls back. They're going to keep that. I don't know. One thing I'm not sure that they're going to have is Balefire. I don't know if they're going to have Balefire. They already
might not need it. I mean, they really might not need it.
They might not need it.
Didn't we already see it?
Well, we've kind of seen it, but not really.
I thought he money shot at Ishamael in the face with it at the end of season 1.
No. He stabbed him with a sword.
I know at the end of season 1, the end of it.
If he was Balefired,
he was Balefired. He would have been Balefired if he was Balefired.
What else is like a big streaming beam of white light? Unless
I need to go back and rewatch it, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, he shot him with the big old white.
He did, but he came back. So.
And Moiraine would have mentioned something. Said, "Bitch, don't do that."
And it's and it's very possible that happened also in the World of Dreams too. Because Ishmael was pulling him into the World of Dreams at that time. They were going back and forth, remember? So it's possible that could have happened there. I'm not sure. And in the World of Dreams, remember what Perrin said in the books, a weave is just a weave. So we are talking about one of the best dreamers to ever live. So we're talking about Ishmael.
It's just a weave, Egwin.
Just a weave, baby. Well, that is season 2, episode 2 of The Wheel of Time from Amazon Prime. We are doing this each and every Sunday through our Tavern Talk, where we're going through season 2. Next week, we will do episode 3, which I don't have the title in front of, but it's named after a chapter.
Also, I've got something to say. I usually don't, but I do have something to say today before we stop this. So next week, we're going to be posting a little bit of footage. As all of you guys out there know, one of my greatest goals in life is to try to get into this production, and I am fastidiously working on this. And one of the things I have been doing to work on this is sword training. This is my practice sword. And we're going to have footage of me training next week. And I'm falling in love with this. I feel like a kid in a candy store. And just, the knowledge. I was asked very recently why I'm wanted to be an actor. And for a minute, my brain stumped myself. And it took me a long time. It actually jilted me a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. And I realized at the very end of the day that it's because how much I love storytelling and how much acting expands me being able to be a storyteller. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love that I have the heart of a Gleeman. And it's amazing to be able to learn new things and still do the craft that you love. And so I'm trying to master one of these and show my skills. So this is, I'm calling it warder training.
Yes.
Yeah, is a practice sword, is that called a kitana?
It is a katana.
Nice.
But it's a lot heavier than you think. It's almost 10 pounds. It's
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's very heavy. It's very heavy. And it's the real weight. And it's awesome. I love it. And
well, we do have you slated already in our book as Androl, so I mean it's already done.
God, I wish. That would be the highlight of my life, but we'll see. Yeah, I wish. Yeah. That's not true. It's not true. Not true.
All right, everyone. Yes, we'll look forward to that next week. We do have a merch. Let's Go New Creations by Jen is one of them. We also have our newest merch, which is and I think this is probably the best one to do it. It's a My Spread Shop. Yeah, that's our newest merch. People have been enjoying some of the new designs. It's been great having you all with us. We'll be back on Tuesday for our first time reader show. We're getting into Winter's Heart.
We probably do not have a show this Sunday because it is Christmas Eve.
Yes, thank you.
We are not having a show this Sunday.
Or the following Sunday because it's New Year's Eve.
Or the following Sunday because it's New Year's Eve, probably. Yeah.
So is it Christmas Eve is Sunday?
Yeah.
Christmas Eve is... Wow, the 23rd is my birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, Jansen! You're almost a Sagittarius.
I am the first day of Capricorn. Yes, I am.
All right. Okay. Oh my God.
I want to say that because my birthday was on December 3rd. So
it was.
It was. We had quite a holiday that day. So
yes,
I turned
the day
50.
before my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, okay. I turned 50 on December 3rd. So
well, you know what? You don't look a day over 48. I'm just kidding.
All right.
Hey, I'll take it. It's still younger than 50.
No, you look like you're 31 and you look gorgeous, Mama.
Thank you.
Don't keep doing what
happy
you do.
birthday. Happy birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday on Saturday.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh wait, Jesus! All right, happy 29th birthday,
yes,
Jansen.
Matt Stagger, let's go.
So, Jansen, I think when you make your new personal Wheel of Time themed Twitter account, I think you have your new name, Jandrol.
I think I must use that.
That's amazing.
Thank you, Mayhem Markham, because it's awesome, and I have to.
Mayhem, what's up, Brent?
Right, coming in and strong in the end there.
Yeah, very strong.
I love it.
I love
don't
that.
Don't tread on my memes.
Thank you, Dovey.
Let's
Dovey just paid me the highest compliment in chat. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been a really fun year. Let's say thank you so much for being with us. 2023 has been amazing. You guys are amazing. I can't wait for next year. We'll be at a couple conventions. I'll be at one, two.
I'll be at least one.
I'm hoping, fingers crossed. Work's got to pick up for me in order to do that, but fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
So we're hoping we're going to be able to see you guys.
Thanks, Village Mattress.
Yeah, everyone. So we love you and we're proud of you. You guys make this show really a fun experience for us each and every week. If there was no chat, it would be just boring. It would be boring. We'd suck. So you guys are fun. You guys are awesome. Ryan, I love you so much. Thanks for doing this week in, week out. The backbone and the guts and the blood and the organs.
Yes.
And Beth and Jansen, I mean, seriously, people hear from us all the time. We don't want that. They want good opinions for once. So
Oh,
Whatever. Stop
Whatever.
thank you
Stop
so
it.
much. You guys being a part of this really is it warms every cockle I have in my felt chest. All the cockles are warmed. I love you, and I'm honored that you guys hang out with us each and every week. It's great.
Beth is a great addition.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
For sure.
Thank you.
So I think
appreciate that.
Ryan, you go. I'm done.
No, yeah, right, yeah. Hey, just remember, run for your lives. This is Way to Leaf.